So, I don't know if this is just me, but recently I have been like really bored of Twisted. So, I haven't had content on Twisted in like a month now. So, this video is going to be different, as you can see by the screen, but we're doing a Twisted town tier list. This is going to be ranked by just simply how much I like the town. There's no statistic with the town as far as like the buildings it has, how much it gets hit, nothing like that. The statistics for this is simply just how much I like the town. And we're starting off here with Angora. Honestly, I think I'm gonna place Angora in the D tier because, well, I mean, it's just really 3 mobile homes. The placement of the town is pretty good, but I just don't know how much I like how it's only 3 mobile homes and that's it. So it's gonna go D tier. Next up, we have Waukesha. Honestly, I'm gonna put Waukesha in an S tier because it's just like, there's so many things in like Twisted, like with Waukesha being my favorite town, just like overall. And then like some of the coolest tornadoes that I get like ever hit Waukesha. So that's definitely going to be ranked higher up for me. Next up, we got Palzoid. I really am going to put Palzoid in the C tier because, like, I mean, Palzoid doesn't really have a whole lot of, like, stuff to it. It's really just a bunch of lore-bound houses. Palzoid isn't even really a town. It's just a village, really. So, I mean, yeah, Palzoid is pretty boring. Next up, we have Welchenville. I'm going to place a Welchenville B tier because Welchenville, like, I've seen a lot of Welchenville hits, and Welchenville is a very interesting town to see get hit. Like, I see Welchenville get hit, like, very rarely, but, like, Welchenville is still, like, a very, like, just really good looking town. I just enjoy the placement of the town, and it does have EF5 capabilities, so if you get a 200 plus tornado hit Welchenville, that is an EF5. And next up, we got Andrusia. I'm honestly going to put Andrusia in the D tier because Andrusia used to be a really good town, and then they took away the upper bound houses, and now it's really difficult to get to, and I don't ever see myself going to Andrusia in like any circumstances anymore, so Andrusia is going to stay at D tier. Next up, we have Chandler. Chandler, honestly, A tier. I do live in Chandler and Twisted. The only reason that I'm keeping Chandler from S tier is because it's hard to get to, there's no EF5 potential, and it never really gets hit by tornadoes, basically ever. And yeah, that's really the only things keeping Chandler from S tier. Next up, we have Wadena. Honestly, S tier town. I love Wadena. It is such like just, it's just an amazing town in general. Like, so, like especially with the 1.5 mile wide tornado on the moderate back in 1.18 being like absolutely unheard of at the time. Like, I just like completely just broke like a ton of records with that tornado, and it like absolutely peaked over Wadena, giving it like 268 EF5 or something like that. So yeah, Wadena is definitely very good town. It's also just in a really good spot. It's also just beautiful. Next up, we have 10 Killer. 10 Killer is gonna sit at B tier. Honestly, it's just like Welchenville Part 2. I mean, it's the layout of 10 Killer and like the buildings in there are so similar to Welchenville. The only differences between Welchenville and 10 Killer that I can really just see are like the little like strip of buildings that's in Welchenville that's not in 10 Killer. So yeah, 10 Killer, very mid-town. Alright, next up we have Hazelton. Obviously that's going to be an S tier town. I mean, Hazelton is literally just the town in Twisted. Like, it's probably the capital of Keysota. And all those Hazelton gas station meetups are wonderful, beautiful. And to top it off, like every single video that I upload with a Hazelton EF5 in it just does extremely good for whatever reason. Next up, we have Funkley. I'm going to put it Funkley under C tier because it's very similar to Palzoid. I mean, Funkley is literally just Palzoid with a gas station. The placement is really good, but I don't see it getting hit that often. Just like, I don't ever see myself going to Funkley except for just to like pass through it. That's why Funkley's staying at C tier. very mid-town. Next up, we have Sneed, D tier. It used to be so good, and then they took away our power plant, and now it's worth nothing to me. The dam looks pretty cool. It's the only reason it's not an F tier. And Kraz lives there. Like, I can't just, like, put an F tier to the town that Kraz lives in. Next up, we have Bedora, which is going straight to A tier. I love Bedora. I've seen, like, every tornado that I see hit there always is extremely cool. I mean, like, I just love Bedora as a town, honestly. Like, it's super cool, and it's one of the newest added towns as well. It doesn't have a whole lot to do with it, but I just love Bedora. Next up, we have the Cherokee Village. F tier, honestly. Like, again, it's just a bunch of lore-bound houses. Like, I don't even enjoy going to Cherokee Village. Especially, it's in such a bad spot, too. Like, it's really difficult to get out of Cherokee Village as well. Like, I just don't like Cherokee Village. Next up, we have Nateville, which is also an F tier. I know, 2 F tiers in a row. Not very good, but I mean, Nateville is literally just a bunch of mobile homes. It's not even interesting. And it's, like, close enough to Hiram, or it's just, like, irrelevant. Speaking of Hiram, that's our next town. A tier. I really do love Hiram. I used to live in one of the UBs, and then they started getting hit all the time, which is why I moved out. But yeah, Hiram is definitely a very good town for content reasons, and it's just like a cool town in general. Next up, we have Trent. I'm gonna put that in D tier, honestly. I mean, Trent, it's just like, I mean, like, there isn't even a paved road in Trent. There's just a couple EXPs and a bunch of lower bounds. It's, like, not that interesting. And it's, like, really hilly. Like, why does it have to be so hilly? Like, if you try to take a Doppler on wheels through Trent, it literally just can't make it up some of the hills. Alright, next up we have Hibbing. Hibbing, A tier. Like, the only thing keeping Hibbing from S tier, honestly, is the fact that it's, like, I always see Hibbing EF5s. Like, every other video anymore is a Hibbing hit. It's getting really repetitive and really annoying. I just, like, Hibbing, it's like, I go there too much. Overall, though, cool town. Alright, next up we have Wanaska. Very mid. It's gonna go with Palzoid and Funkly. Literally just a bunch of lower bound homes. And I see it get hit, like, all the time as well. So it's just, like, very repetitive. Like, almost every other video anymore has a Wanaska hit in it. Okay, I know this isn't gonna make a lot of sense, especially for giving Palzoid, Funkly, and Wanaska the rating I gave them, but Helma is A tier. Reason being, Helma IMAX. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch the video that I have up on screen. And Helma's also about to get a huge revamp, and it's gonna look super cool at 1.20. Next up, we've got Sylvia, B tier. It's very similar to Welchenville and 10 Killer. Just a bunch of EXPs, lower bounds, mobile homes. Not that interesting. The Great Sylvia Tornado, though, that is pretty interesting as far as the lore goes. Next up, Vero. I'll give Vero B tier. It's an interesting town, just like, not like interesting enough, and the placement is really bad. It's like really difficult to go north. It's like really difficult to go northwest from the Viroqua area. Just like not, the town is good, the placement isn't, I guess is what I'm trying to get at here. And then obviously with Vero, you have to have West Vero. C tier, it's another just bunch of lower bound homes, and the placement's really bad too. Alright, next up we got Mizpah. Mizpah's gonna put it in B tier. I mean, it's again very similar to Sylvia, 10 Killer, Welchenville. Kind of just a bunch of EXPs and a gas station. The town just isn't that enjoyable for me, and I never get it, like, I never see it get hit at all either, which doesn't help. Okay, so this is probably going to confuse you because most people wouldn't even count this as a town, but I'm going to count it as a town if it has words on the map and it, like, tells you where you are and it shows up on the, like, mini map. Keysota State Forest, D tier. The only reason it's not an F tier is because that bridge is super cool. I love that bridge. Got a couple intercepts on that bridge before. Don't do that in real life, by the way. You will die 100% guaranteed. But yeah, really, really cool intercept spot. Alright, next up we got Starbuck. Honestly, for me, Starbuck is gonna go A tier. I really just, like, I really like Starbuck as a town. It's like it's really cool, and is just a bunch of EXPs in a gas station, but there is like a little strip where there's just a bunch of like stores and whatever. The debris shots from Starbuck are super cool. And there's a bunch of trees around there and a bridge as well, which definitely helps its case. Alright, then next up we have Peshtigo. I'm honestly gonna give Peshtigo another C tier. It's just, I mean, like, it's just a bunch of lower bound homes. And last but definitely not least is Sire. I mean, you guys are gonna get really, like, confused or even angry with me with this one because of all the ratings that I gave to Palzoid, Funkly, Wanaska, West Vero, and Peshtigo. Because, once again, it is just a bunch of lower bound homes. But Sire, S tier. Again, watch the video that I talked about with Homa IMAX. You will understand when I say Sire EF7. I mean, like, it's also kind of like the first video that me and Kraz did together. I mean, obviously, memories from that are going to stick with us. Alright, you know what? No, I'm making a change real quick. Vero is moving out of B tier. I was going to A tier because of Patrick. Again, watch that video. Patrick is one of the people who tragically died in a tornado in that video. Somehow he got in the roof of the gas station. We don't know how he got up there. We tried to rescue him. We didn't get up there in time, and he tragically died. Patrick, may you rest in peace. You will be missed. And with Sire being the last town, that is going to do it for this video. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe, as it does help out the channel. That'll be it for this one. See you all in the next one. Peace.